for the last time in 2020. Hello, good evening, and welcome to While the Chicken Soup is Cooking, while the countdown is counting. Welcome to the New Year's Eve special. Lovely to have a wonderful studio audience on board. And if you're watching on Facebook, come and join us for a catch up and a chat. We promise we won't bite. Lovely people on tonight, as always. New Year's 2021 right around the corner. I'm probably not gonna stay up till midnight, certainly not on purpose. I think we'll just let this one ride its way out and wake up tomorrow morning to 2021. I think we'll be quite happy with
Don't think much is going to happen very quickly.
No, it's
not much will change.
I guess the dream that we all had, that 2021, that will just kind of like be completely different. We might just have to wait that little bit.
Yes.
Till about March, April.
You'll be lucky.
Let's all pray. Let's
Rosh Hashanah, perhaps.
Yeah, Rosh Hashanah is about right, I think.
You think I'm joking?
No,
I don't.
it's about right.
Well, let's try and have and see what we can prize out of you guys this evening. I always enjoy these because when we pick the right kind of question or the right kind of topic, we get lovely little nuggets of wisdom out of everybody. So
God bless you.
God bless you.
And all who's saying that.
But let's hear some wisdom of New Year's pasts. How does what does it normally mean to you? Is it a time for reflection, a time for resolutions, just a nice night to get together with friends? Is it?
Well, those were the days.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, let's reminisce. Why not?
Oh God.
Must have had a fair few New Year's Eves between all of us on the screen tonight. What's everyone's favourite stories, favourite recollections, favourite resolutions? What does it mean? Anyone?
I think it's a good date to hang your memories on, because we meet friends all the time, or at least, in the real world we did, and we might have remembered that you met this one somewhere and wasn't it nice, and what do we do? But if you think about it as who you're with on New Year's Eve, who are usually either really close friends or, if you're lucky, family, you can remember because, oh, it was that New Year's Eve and then it was that New Year's Eve. And I think it's a really good way of recollecting and sort of thinking how lucky you are to have those people in your life. Please God for the future.
Oh man, has it always been a resolution-y time for you?
Yeah. We spent 30 years of New Year's Eves with the same little group of old friends. And I always hated New Year's Eve parties, and I really hated them. There was something about them, too much alcohol, too many. Well, anyway, I hated it. And when they used to let the balloons down, anybody else remember the balloons in the nets that used to come down? I always used to manage to disappear and, comb my hair or put my lipstick on. I just hated it. So we had about 30 years of a little group. I think there were originally 12, then we were 11. And we used to have dinner together every New Year's Eve. And when we got older and nobody wanted to travel anywhere, it was New Year's Day lunch. But it was just old friends and it was really special. And since we've been in London, of course, we don't do that, but we've got new friends in London, which is lovely. We spent with them.
Before London?
Chester.
No,
Just beautiful.
It's lovely. Beautiful around there. We used to live in Hale, so we weren't so far away from there. It was lovely.
Oh no. Well, we lived in Chester for how many years?
35.
35 years. Yeah.
35 years. Yes.
Yeah. Long time.
The youngsters won't remember that from round the horn where he used to say 35 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
No.
There we go.
Oh, I think I cut some of that.
Well, I think
I
we've
can
done this.
remember in the early days when whoever could get a babysitter, the others would all come with their babies, all in the bassinets. We
Yeah.
put them to bed upstairs, and that was the one way we could all be together.
Yeah.
A long time.
That New Year's Eve party in Boreham Wood we had. Oh, when we were first married, so that's going back 48 years now. So anyway, so when we first got married, we lived in Boreham Wood, just behind the TV studios, Stratfield Road. Anyway, we had a party with our friends where I made a fruit salad, but it was an alcoholic fruit salad, which was turned into a punch. And people they couldn't taste the alcohol, so they were drinking it as a fruit punch. And of course, people got quite merry and didn't know why they were getting merry because nothing was spiked. Anyway, the party was going really well. And then we started a conga line in a very small house, I must tell you. So I was leading it. So I took it out in the street into my neighbour's house who wasn't having a party, and out from the neighbour's house. Our friends still talk about that party.
It was fun.
It was an amazing party.
Funny.
Yes. Oh, did we have fun. And now, 12:05, we're ready to get into bed.
That's right, yeah. I mean, we've had a very boring.
Yeah.
We've been married 11 years as of a couple of days ago. It was just our anniversary. And I don't
I
think
said it wouldn't last.
I don't think we've done a New Year's Eve party since our shaver bar.
Yeah, we haven't. And I was always asked to babysit as well, because my friends and I didn't really like there was nothing much to do when I was quite like I'm saying 15 years old. It wasn't like I was going out clubbing with my friends, so I'd always be asked to babysit, and then the babysitters would say, bring your friends over, you can have a party, and I'm like, no, it's okay. It was kind of like a bit like another day for me. It wasn't really like
all the stuff that I got up to back in the day.
On the other hand.
What went on at Jews College stays at Jews College.
That's it.
What date was your anniversary? What date was your anniversary?
Oh, now you're testing me.
The 28th.
What?
Yeah, it was the 28th. So during our week of Sheverbrockers fell
Ours was 54 years ago on the 28th.
Oh, that's
The 28th.
Yeah.
Oh, December.
4 years.
Yeah.
What's the secret?
Always saying, yes, you're right, dear.
Yeah, I'm totally cold.
I don't know.
Wonderful.
I don't know. But I can't. I don't know where 54 years went. You know, it's only when you look at your children, your grandchildren, that you realise actually you're older. Because in lots of ways, you don't feel any different.
No.
You know,
My
Don't
children
feel-
often remind me how old I am. Yeah.
I always think children that get older, we don't.
Pardon me, sorry?
I said it's the children that get older, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Thank you. I need a haircut.
Whenever
I think the
anyone
hardest part is when the children want to take care of us. We're not used to that. We're used to doing the caring. We've been married 56 years.
56 years, wow.
It's very nice that they want to. It's very nice that we've got them and they want to, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's wonderful. We're very blessed.
Yeah.
Pictures annoying me.
Yeah.
How long have you been married, you and Alan?
Fabulous party.
Next May it'll be 40 years.
Oh, wow.
How many?
40.
Oh, they've got 66 coming up in a month's time.
Wow.
You what? 66.
We had a marvellous afternoon because my grandson in Tel Aviv had the bright idea of Zooming the family together. So
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
A bit closer.
He always talks so you can't hear him.
Speak.
Sorry.
If you tilt the computer a little bit towards you, we
Yeah.
lost just after the bright idea.
And my grandson from Tel Aviv with his wife, and his wife's parents from Paris. So it was quite an international Zoom this afternoon. It was really one of the
Oh,
nicest,
It was
nicest
wonderful.
non-parties, because we couldn't drink anything or toast, but it was a lovely afternoon.
Oh, that's
Good.
nice.
Good.
If there's somebody, we've got a friend of ours actually on the screen at the moment. She hasn't put her video on because just before we came on, we were talking to our friend in America,
Ah, there she is.
and she said she'd
Hi.
like to join us. This is Dina.
Nice to meet you.
So she
I
just
couldn't get on Facebook, so I'm just part of your Zoom meeting and I'm just crashing.
It's wonderful to have you on board. Where are
I've
you
heard such
calling in from?
wonderful things about your shul, so
Ah, where are
Happy
you
New
based?
Year.
All from us.
Have you got snow in New York?
No, it's actually lovely. It's about 40 degrees. It was sunny
Oh.
today. The snow we had last week, we had a snowstorm. We had 10.5 inches in New York. It all melted, thankfully.
Whereabouts are you?
I live in Manhattan.
Oh,
And
nice.
yes, and this year it's going to be very strange because they will have the ball drop, but there'll be no spectators in Times Square. So
Wow.
it's going to be
Well,
different.
the whole world is like that.
I was
Yeah.
wondering actually if they're going to be doing the big fireworks, like not parade. What do you call it? Like fireworks
Display.
display. That's the word I was looking for. By like in town by the Millennium Dome. I don't know if they are.
I don't think so.
There's
No.
nothing.
I
They
think
cancelled all that.
They've got a light thing on the wheel,
Okay.
I believe.
But Sydney had fireworks, but no spectators.
Mhm.
That's
no,
right.
yeah.
The only place I think they had spectators was New Zealand, because they've got no cases in New Zealand now.
No, they haven't. But Sydney, they've locked down,
Oh.
no spectators. And as you hear, I come from South Africa. So New Year's Eve was a barbecue with our neighbors very close by.
Ah.
And stayed off the roads because alcohol was aplenty and some people were driving under the influence of. So we were very much in the neighborhood, possibly taking our prams to our neighbors and just spending time together. Sometimes we made it till midnight and sometimes not.
Where were you? Sea Point?
My kids
No,
are like
Johannesburg.
adamant to stay awake tonight to look at as many fireworks as they can.
Ah,
Good luck.
No,
there's
I've
been
got
loads
very
around here this
happy
evening.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot round us as well.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I've got to wish my brother-in-law happy birthday for tomorrow.
Ah, that's
So I
Yes.
was told it's got to be at midnight tonight.
uh,
But I never go to sleep before midnight, so it doesn't make a difference to me.
a shame.
Hey,
But I can sleep in the morning. I don't need to get up to crying children.
That's very true.
That-
My kids actually, they're like a bit like teenagers already, even though they're quite young. And they do like to stay up very, very late and they kind of wake up a little bit later, which is quite nice. It's a big
That's
blessing.
My granddaughter does
Well
that.
trained.
She can't get to sleep, but she can't wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So, but she's in Australia, so it's a bit different.
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
Anyway,
I mean, you mentioned New Zealand before, Lawrence. So
Yes.
somebody on my Facebook posted, it was quite a clever tweet, clever Facebook message that said, incredible leadership once again from Jacinda Ardern, who has managed to get New Zealand into 2021 ahead of any other country in the world.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. I bet Boris won't be able to do it until at least 12 o'clock.
At least.
Right at the last minute.
Yeah, but Trump's not going to have it. It's fake.
it's worth worrying about.
There's a lot of fireworks going on at the moment, and unfortunately, our dog, who's a cockapoo, thinks we need protecting. So he storms around the house barking with his tail erect, going, "Don't worry, I've got it. Nothing's going to happen. Just you stay there. I'm going to look up at the noise."
Oh, no.
I thought dogs get scared of fireworks.
Yeah.
No, he's the opposite. He really is going to protect us. He's so funny. Yeah.
But there's a lot of fireworks in Bushy Heath as well. I can hear them, I can't see them.
I can see it out the window. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Near the dog.
That's funny.
Oh, gosh.
I think they're elephants. What are they? They're elephants. Elephant.
Yes. Are you looking on my wall?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a bit of an elephant freak. So I've got this picture there, but all over the house. In our house in Spain, it's covered with elephant pictures and little things. Yeah.
Why elephants?
I just really admire them. I think they're wonderful creatures. Being on safari, and I just love them. So yeah, I just like.
Not when you're sorry, you don't go too close to them.
Well, that was 10 years ago. I'm not going again in a hurry, I don't think.
Now, being
a few years.
And you keep a respectable social distance from them.
Have you heard some horror stories then?
Sorry?
Have you heard some horror stories then?
No, I've been on safari a number of times. I had friends who had a lodge in a safari park, and we went a number of times, usually in the summer. And so I've seen quite a lot of the big five.
Wow.
And a cheetah. How lucky is that? No, not a cheetah, I'm talking nonsense, a leopard. Which you don't see very often.
Did it change its spots? Oh, I don't do.
So yes, it changed its spots.
I remember back in 2008, I went to South Africa with Aish, and we went on safari, and they told us about the big five, and we drove around loads and didn't even get to see one lion, and but we did see a leopard, and the ranger said to us, they said that, oh, you're lucky that you've seen it. First of all, we were like miles away from it, and you had to kind of like make it out, and it was just lying there, wasn't doing anything. But he said, you're lucky you've seen a leopard. That's worth 5 lions. And one guy in my Jeep goes, I think I'd rather just see 5 lions.
But leopard translated into Afrikaans is luipaard, which is a lazy animal. So it was lying there. That sounds about right.
You know,
whereabouts were you in South Africa? Which area?
Well, we started in Joburg, but we did Kruger and Cape Town.
Okay.
So
when we were on safari, we were really lucky because the Jeep we were in pulled over to let a lot of other Jeeps pass, and we sort of went into a little side road, and the driver suddenly stopped, he froze, and he said, just keep very, very still. And in a tree, just literally 5 yards away or 4 yards away, in a tree, a huge leopard was curled, you know, sort of, you know how they sleep in the trees?
Yeah.
And we just sat there. We must have sat there for 10, 15 minutes just watching this beautiful creature. And then it slunk down and went away.
Wow.
So, yeah,
So that's the difference. You look at it. I say you look at it and you say, "What a beautiful creature," and he's looking at you saying, "Lunch."
I thought you were going to say you saw a black mamba or a cobra or something like that when he said, "Stay still," because then you don't move.
No. We didn't see any snakes.
I've had that experience also. You do. Safari, I can tell a lot. Anyway, London's different.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
There's still wildlife around.
I mean, we get, I don't know about you all, we get
we've got your foxes.
Loads of foxes.
Yeah, we all
Foxes are in the centre of London now.
Yes.
They're very brazen, these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just look at you, you know.
No, they don't care.
Limbs apart as
Very
well.
brazen.
Yeah. And my wife doesn't wear fox fur anymore. So what's the point of them? You know.
We had an injured deer in the garden
Oh,
really?
I forgot about that
a
one.
few months ago. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
The RSPCA.
Never see them on the way to Stanmore. I know they advert. There's a sign up there.
Yes, we
Yeah,
see
I've
them.
never seen them there.
They're in the paddock.
Yeah.
But we see the wild ones sometimes when we're coming down the road. If we're coming back at night, we see a deer just run across.
Really?
And we in Bushy when.
Wow. Is it the hunting season?
Do you think so?
You don't?
Glorious 12th, isn't it?
That's August.
That's the shooting season.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, and it's kosher. Deer's kosher, isn't it, Rabbi? So yeah, you know.
Yeah, but you got to kill it right, though, haven't you? You got to
Shoot it.
Yeah.
You've got to catch it first.
First catch your deer. Yeah, I know how it is. Yeah. I am terrible. Meanwhile, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Dina, because we met Dina through her father, and she runs the Zurimin Association in America and throughout the world, really. It's all the people we were you remember some weeks ago we were talking about our experiences in Poland. Well, Dina represents the village where Stella's father came from.
Same village.
And the same village as Dina's father, which is Zurimin. So that's how we know Dina.
That's very
So yeah.
Well, it's been absolutely wonderful having Dina on board.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for
What's
having
the
me.
situation like for you in America at the moment? We're like basically in another lockdown without calling it a lockdown.
We're not in lockdown. We are free to move about, but it's very different here. There's maybe 30% ridership on our subways. There's not a lot of people in the streets. Our, hospitality industry is very low. There are not a lot of tourists. It's very different. It's very, it's very void of tourists, and it's very different city. Doesn't feel like New York City. And hundreds of thousands of people have left the city and have gone to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and many people are working from home. So, commercial real estate, it's an issue. But hopefully, I think New York always comes back, but we do think it's going to take years. So, yeah. So it's different, but and now I was just talking with Stella and Lawrence. I mean, I think they've only vaccinated 2 million people so far. I mean, we have 20 million vaccines available, but it's very slow. The distribution is a process, and they haven't figured it out yet, but we're, hoping for the best. And wait January 20th.
How often would you make it over to the UK pre-COVID?
Oh, I haven't been in a very long time. I lived in Israel for 2 years. I studied my last 2 years of high school in Israel. And on my way back home to the States, I stopped in London. I was there once before, but I haven't been since. It's been a long time. But I'm hoping when this is over, I'm going to be a guest.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Please, guest speaker in Bushy.
Oh, yeah.
Scholar in residence.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And Stella arranged the dinner at the Shawl, and we've got 140 people in on a Friday night. No problem at all.
Elaine's
Oh, please.
You're right with that, Elaine.
No, it's down to Stella.
Oh, well, that sounds lovely. Thank you, Lawrence. And you're footing the bill, I assume, yeah?
As always.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes left, so let's cap off tonight's session with just a little idea. Because I mean, one of the things that I was going to mention, and it actually caught my attention last week as well, is that when you're in Israel, you don't really feel like it's Christmas, and you don't really feel much like it's New Year's either. You just don't really feel these kinds of occasions. And we spent quite a few years living in Israel and spending a few of those winter seasons over there, and over there it's just normal days, really, which is quite startling because over here it's such a huge culture and it's such a huge thing, and you know, I'm almost certain of it. Well, maybe not this year because of the way everyone's feeling about it, but on any normal year, my Facebook feed on the 1st of January would be filled with people saying their New Year's resolutions and everything that they want to try and accomplish. And and one of the thoughts that I had is that for people that don't make such a big deal about New Year's and New Year's resolutions, the thing that occurred to me is that actually, as Jews, we do this kind of stuff almost every day. We have the ability every single day to kind of realign our focus. I mean, everybody does, but the point is that we make a big deal out of it in Judaism, which is that we're constantly realigning our focus, constantly reflecting on each day and seeing how we want the next day to improve and what we want to improve on. You know, every Amida prayer we say Slach Lanu. We have an opportunity to literally do teshuvah 3 times a day, and every night before we go to bed, there's, you know, a beautiful prayer that we can say where we're reflecting on the things that we've done, the way that we might have interacted with ourselves and with those around us, and how it could be better the following day. And I thought, just for anyone that doesn't know about this necessarily, I just thought I would share with you the words of one of the prayers that we have as part of the bedtime Shema process, which I just think is an amazing thing, the fact that we have this at our disposal every single day. Master of the universe, I hereby forgive anyone who angered or antagonized me or who sinned against me, whether against my body, my property, my honor, or against anything of mine, whether he did so accidentally, willfully, carelessly, or purposely, whether through speech, deed, thought, or notion, whether in this transmigration or another transmigration. What a word. That basically means this incarnation or another incarnation. I forgive every Jew. May no man be punished because of me. May it be your will, Hashem, my God, and the God of my forefathers, that I may sin no more. Whatever sins I have done before you, may you blot out in your abundant mercies, but not through suffering or bad illnesses. May the expressions of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart find favor before you, Hashem, my rock and my redeemer. And I just think it's an incredible thing that every day is an opportunity to reflect and take stock and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's how I thought I'd just end off. Give us all a blessing that today, tomorrow, the next year, the next 120 years, that we should just have lots of blessings, as Shira would say, with revealed goodness. Yeah. That is what you say, isn't it? Sometimes. And it should be.
Everyone should be healthy.
Amen.
Yeah. Healthy New Year.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
Shana Tova.
A good gebenched Yor.
Thank you, Rebbe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone on Facebook,
Be well, everybody.
come and join us on Zoom for the after party. I'll tell you what, if you guys want to do a countdown and then a Happy New Year, you know, it's not 12 o'clock yet, but who cares? It's 2020. But yeah, we're going to sign off now on Zoom. Anyone who wants to come and join us. No, we're going to sign off on Facebook. Anyone who wants to come join us on Zoom is welcome to do so. See you next year.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Elaine, if you need
Yeah.
anything,
Well,